musician, and a lifelong scrounger who sometimes makes art. He began his career in the early 1960s pulling valuable objects from the junkyard behind the Claremont Hotel in Berkeley, and somehow parlayed this into a federal job. Dave Seabury, get on up here.
All right. I'm definitely out of my comfort zone here. Hit it. Hi, my name's Dave Seabury, and I'm so pleased to be invited here to discuss my current relationship with the number 20. This year I celebrated 20 years working for a federal government agency called the Presidio Trust. I specialize in excess property disposal, waste management, and historic items collections. I have a lot of experience in this field. I've been scrounging through piles of discarded crap both recreationally and professionally since the age of 5. You see this background reflected in my work environment. My office looks a bit different than most federal government facilities. For those who may not be familiar with the Presidio, it is a former military base now a national park at the tip of San Francisco. Last year, I decided that I wanted to do something to celebrate my 20 years at the Presidio, so I mounted an art installation using objects that I'd collected over the years in the course of my work. In the 11th hour, however, it got in a bit of hot water. I hadn't asked permission from my agency to do the exhibit. Since I was dealing with government property, this became a bit problematic. Our agency requires that such endeavors be properly vetted. A few days after I publicly announced the exhibit, certain authorities in my agency threatened to shut me down. I kind of put myself in a high-pressure situation, something I do often. The whole deal hinged on me bullshitting my way out of the mess, and I finally got the okay to proceed. The 2 previous slides are boiler room warning stickers left behind by the Army, grouped in sets of 20, of course. And what you see here are 20 door hinges from the first Letterman Hospital dating back to the early part of the last century. That's the building that Derek works in, actually. Here we have 20 wrenches from the boiler room of the old Public Health Service Hospital at the 15th Street gate, now fully repurposed into a swanky residential building known as Presidio Landmark. The wrenches are mounted on a hospital gurney that I've recovered from the morgue up there. You know, I know, creepy. I like creepy stuff. Like this semi-mummified bird found resting in the kitchen area of what is now one of our restaurants. I think it got stuck in the building, took a nap, and got eaten by ants or something. I'm pretty sure it was there 20 years before I found it. And this delightful mummified cat found by one of my colleagues in the garage of what used to be the Post's veterinary clinic and ceremoniously delivered to me by one of my colleagues. I guess word got out about the kinds of things that I like. I'm pretty sure that there's an element to this little guy that's associated with the number 20s, and I'm still investigating that one. Stand by for updates on that. So, this mountain lion's head was found abandoned in a residential move-out in 1999 and has been sitting on this century-old wheelchair in our warehouse ever since. Do the math, 20 years, right? 2019, right? 1999. I'm sure you can easily appreciate the valuable work that your tax dollars have supported in my important mission at the Presidio. It says, pause for laughter. Okay. I figured that might get a laugh. So, what we have here is a large collection of amazing signs, some of them Army and Presidio specific, some on the more generic side, but all graphically very engaging. Keeping the number to 20 and deciding which signs to include was challenging. We have enough cool signs to highlight them in a massive exhibit just on their own, which we may do. These closed signs are from the old Army sign painting shop back to the 1970s. We could have enough of them to cover a huge wall, but of course I could only allow myself to use 20 in the exhibit. Sorry about the orientation of the slide. Just tilt your head to get the proper effect. All over the Letterman Army Medical Center, we found these little plastic signs. Not the 18 that I'm not showing here were pretty much run-of-the-mill, like room number 20 or keep out, etc. But these were 2 of my favorites. No hats, no saluting was from the hospital cafeteria. It might have gotten a bit messy if you tried to salute your superior officer while you're holding your lunch tray. It took a while to figure that one out. The runaway favorite piece of the exhibit was this assemblage of storage room vents. Ironically, a fellow came up to me at our closing receptions referring to that piece, and he said, I love the show, and I think it's really hilarious that you included one piece that had 21 items. You're just testing people there, right? No, we actually just fucked up and counted wrong. Oops. I call this slide Kreskin's flatware. This is a collection of mangled stainless steel flatware that was culled from material that went through the green debris grinder at our compost processing yard. For some reason, every time we run the grinder, for some unexplainable reason, along with other bits of trash that we have to pull out, there's always flatware. I don't know. More to come about the compost yard. Here we have 20 military-grade toilet paper dispensers circa 1930 from building 1801. These are made of solid brass, nickel-plated, and super heavy-duty. I thought they were so cool that I immediately installed one in the restroom at our Salvage warehouse, but it turned out they were a total pain in the ass to reload. Classic, military, expensive, super high-grade, and totally inefficient. Horseshoes, 20 worn-out horseshoes from the U.S. Park Police Mounted Patrol stables. We've become pretty good pals with the officers at the horse barn since we've been mixing their horse shit into our compost piles. At one point, they asked if it was okay to put hundreds of these things into our scrap metal bin. We decided it would just be more fun to simply hoard them, because that's what we do. A favorite part of my job is that I have access to many restricted areas and abandoned buildings to perform salvage assessments. I've shot thousands of photographs over the year. A talented friend of mine offered to mount them on panels, in groups of 20, of course. As a surprise and much to my delight, he turned them into these amazing collages. Doorways, doors to bunkers, bank vault doors, office doors, bathroom doors, autoclave doors, windows. So many cool windows all over the Presidio, especially at the old Public Health Service hospital before they renovated it. My favorite being the ghostly, iconic images of Anne Frank peering out from the upper floor windows of the Public Health Service hospital. Graffiti is one of the most important art forms in history, in my not-so-humble opinion. When you're blessed with an abundance of abandoned buildings and hiding places, you have the perfect medium to attract this kind of art. The old hospitals were bountiful in this respect. By the time we got to demolition on those buildings, this treasure trove of world-class art was wiped away forever. At the end of June, I will retire from the Presidio to devote the next 20 years to performing various rock and roll bands, composing, recording my own music, and creating art, and perhaps trying to avoid accumulating more crap. I could go on, but my 20 is up. Thanks for looking and listening. Thank you, Derek. All right.
Wow. Impossibly cool. Also gave me my what I'll be dreaming about tonight, which will be mummified cats. So thank you very much for that.